Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. So we have an inspired by Gibson Epiphone Les Paul Standard. This is a 50s Les Paul with the 50s baseball neck. Mahogany body, of course, and I believe the neck is also mahogany if I remember correctly. But either way, check the video description below for all the specs. It does have a maple cap on it, pretty thick one too, and an extended tenon joint. So she's built like a brick and heavy, but that's okay. It's Les Paul, it's supposed to be heavy, it's supposed to have some beef to her. We do have what I like to call modern vintage tuners. So the modern is the front side with the nut and washer system, and the back side is your typical vintage tuners. And these are actually some pretty good quality tuners. I'm impressed with how smooth they are, and they do hold really well. So very impressed with these tuners. Didn't think I would be. When me and my wife were actually looking at a couple of Les Pauls, we were looking at the 50s and the 60s on the website, and it's kind of like, well, I really like the gold top. I really want this, you know, like that's nice. I was hoping for one with P90s, but we can always drop them in if we want to. But I do like these pickups, and at least they don't coil split or coil tap. Yay! Not that I have anything against them. I have them in my Gibson Les Paul. I really didn't want a guitar with another set of those. Okay, so I'm glad. And they're also completely hand-wired, with the exception of the pickup actually has its own little plug, and then they soldered the other half of the plug onto the pot, so you can just plug in, plug out. But if you wanted to hardwire in something that didn't come with a plug and change the pickups, you just have to unsolder that one wire and then just solder on your wire, and that's it. I mean, it's that simple, right? So definitely kudos to Epiphone. They did a wonderful job. And they are CTS pots in this thing, so it is definitely quality right up the chute on this thing. It is just fantastic. Fretwork, awesome. We've got binding on the neck as well. The neck, by the way, is dead straight to the point where I think there's might be 2 thou clearance, if that. That I really want to lift that up a little bit because I like a little bit more than that. But otherwise, the main height is great. Very nice low action. That's the way I like it. 1046 strings, by the way, on this guitar, even though it's not listed in the description below. Again, I had to go to Epiphone and find out what strings are on this thing. I don't know why they're not listing them on the Long McQuaid site, but anyways, they are 1046. And like I said, completely stock. Haven't touched anything on this thing, so let's see what kind of results we get and how good the intonation is too. So one of the tests I like to do is this. Solid. Good and solid. I say she's solid. I say she's pretty much about bang on. As bang on gets in the real world. It is a stringed instrument after all. So we're going to play some stuff for you guys. Just chord bashing as always. I don't play songs from other artists. Keeps me out of trouble with YouTube. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add on the blues driver, and I want to make sure I don't overblast the mic with this too. remember that little riff from my Random Madness video. Except it was a lot faster and crunchier. Okay. So, now we're going to go to some overdrive. I do have reverb turned on this a little bit too, so. Not too shabby. Bite off there. Wow, that stayed in. At least it sounds like it did. I usually will bend like that on my studio. Didn't drop it much. Well, after all that, the D and the G fell out just a little bit. That's not too shabby. That's pretty aggressive for some factory strings, too. Anyways, guys, I'm putting this at a 4.5 out of 5. Now, the fit and finish on this thing is amazing. I could not find any flaws in the finish anywhere, okay? The fretwork, phenomenal. Great job. Binding, also very nice on the neck. Nice one-layer binding on the top of the body area. Nothing down here. Fantastic wood. Love it. Baseball neck, it's kind of a little different, you know. Takes a little bit of getting used to. I'm still getting used to it. I'm used to a little bit thinner neck, right? Slimmer profiles. But otherwise, it plays fantastic, even though the neck is so dead straight. But I am going to lift it a little bit. It's a little too straight. But yeah, I love the pickups. They're actually really good, and I love that they're not coil tapping or coil splitting. I like the dial indicator bars. That's a nice little touch they did. They put a lot into this for the money, and for $819 Canadian, I think it's definitely worth the money for sure. I would take a serious look at it. I mean, my first standard I bought myself was probably I don't know, closer to 15 years ago. And I paid almost $700 for that out the door. And, you know, it's kind of like, oh, such a disappointment. That thing was a hunk of junk. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a bad run, something, but I just had so many issues with that thing. And it turned me off of Epiphones. Turned me right off of Gibsons, too. But, you know, years later, of course, we've tried out the SG and then got rehooked into Epiphones, and I'm more hooked into Epiphones, and definitely have my own Gibson as well. And I love the Gibson guitars, especially today's guitars, a lot better than things were way back when. $819 is actually a great price. Now, I wouldn't normally even recommend a guitar of this price range for a beginner, but if you are a beginner and you really must spend the money, if you're serious about playing, definitely, you know, spend the money. Even as a beginner, you would love this guitar. But it is definitely more into the intermediate level and above players. But for a beginner, this would be so fantastic. And the action is so nice and low. The medium jumbo frets, you got to watch. You cannot have a heavy hand on guitars that have medium frets or medium jumbos or jumbo frets, because you're just playing out of tune. You're going to have the death grip. You're going to get callus the size of portobello mushrooms. I mean, it's really disgusting and really messes with your playing too. Anyways, I have videos about all of that sort of thing. Let me put this back on the clean channel for a minute. Because I know someone is probably going to ask or wonder, can we finger pick this thing? Yep. So it does do finger picking really well. But I think as far as price range goes, $819 Canadian. Great price. Get yourself one, Long McQuaid. If you don't like this one because, you know, it's got a bit of a fattish neck, they do have a 60s model with a little bit slimmer profile too. You know, but I didn't think I liked the baseball style neck, you know, because it is thicker than what I'm used to. But I'm getting used to it rather quickly. You're going to make a few boo-boos here and there, you know, getting used to a new neck. I have so many guitars that, well, not a ludicrous amount. I got 12. But even at that, that's a lot of guitars. They all have different neck profiles. And even my Jackson, when I go back to it, it's like, you know, it's slim taper and everything as far as, you know, top to bottom goes. But then it's also a much wider neck than the Les Paul. It's a little bit different guitar. And having the dual compound radius fretboard is weird. You know, so even I have to practice for a while on each guitar of what I want to do before I go and do it, so I either make the least amount of mistakes possible or zero. You know, so even jumping from this to my regular Gibson Les Paul, it's a night and day difference. You know, like it really is. But I really like this, and the gold top is nice. You know, they call it metallic gold, is what Epiphone's calling it. And I can kind of see that being metallic gold, because you can tell that it's metallicized. And the binding looks good too. Everything, I like the cream accents. I wish they would have went with cream knobs, because that would have been more suitable with the cream here. You know, then the only chrome you'd have to worry about is, you know, the basics, right? But then cream knobs would actually match the tuning heads. So I might actually check out Amazon and a few other places for some cream knobs, because you can just pull them off and change them, right? So I'm going to see what I can find. And I think that would actually look a lot better. But that's just a nitpick thing. That has nothing to do with, you know, it's 4.5 out of 5. Nothing's perfect in life either. It does need a new set of strings and a setup. Every guitar does, so I can't knock it for that. I've I think I've only ever bought 1 or 2 electric guitars that have never needed anything for a setup, period. So that's actually, I guess, not bad. I don't know. But the pickups are nice. They really are. Because even my 57 Classics in my Les Paul, the neck pickup is very muddy in comparison. But the neck pickup on this is really nice. You know, like, that's nice. The bridge is got some chime. And then they're both together. So anyways, but yeah, I like it. Let me know what you guys think about this guitar in the comments below. As far as equipment being used today, Katana 100 watt Mark II series. And of course our mic is a room mic. It's my my Zoom, I think it's H1 Zoom mic that I use for stereo recording for 24-bit room type stuff. So you get a really good idea what it's like in my room. So nothing's processed or anything. But anyways, yeah, fantastic instrument. I really do like this thing. It's great, and I'm glad I got it, you know. And yes, for those of you who are wondering, I still have the Epiphone Casino, and I'm keeping that one too. I love it. It's a fantastic hollow body. But yeah, this is nice. It's going to complement some music that I want to do for sure. But anyways, in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the video description below for all the specs. One thing that you will not see there or on the Long McQuaid website and many others for some reason is the string gauge is actually 1046. Okay, this thing comes with 10s. So it's 1046 is the gauge for this. And more than likely it's going to be D'Addario strings because it's very common for some reason that Epiphone is using D'Addario strings, and that's just fine. I've got lots of those kicking around, so I'm going to be changing the strings, doing a complete setup on this thing, and we'll definitely come back to you guys with more videos on this thing. I just got to think up of something I want to do. I want to do something fun and funky with this thing. So we'll have to go through the effects pedals too in my Katana and see what I can come up with. It's really wicked cool. But in the meantime, do subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to smash that bell for notifications for when I have new uploads. I have a bunch more videos coming for you guys. You know, some more music stuff as well, obviously, and some other things that are on their way. And anyways, till next time, see ya!